We've had Sean Pendergast on a few times, Texans insider, Texans writer, and, we've asked this question to him. I've talked about this question too. Are the Texans Super Bowl contenders? Great year and rookie year with Stroud. First year coach D'Amico Ryans, Will Anderson, young team, lots of talent. They won a playoff game. Are these guys Super Bowl contenders? We talked about it, we discussed, and I agreed with Sean when he said that they aren't until they have a wide receiver one, an X factor. No matter how good CJ Stroud is, he needs a great wide receiver. That's what makes good quarterbacks, great quarterbacks, and Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. Remember, Brady is great, but he wasn't the GOAT until he had Edelman, until he had Randy Moss, until he had Rob Gronkowski. The first 4 years, Patrick Mahomes had Tyreek Hill to throw the ball to. So, I said and he said that they need to go out in free agency, get a wide receiver one. He doesn't need to be great, but then we'll discuss, what the Texans' expectations are. They got Stefon Diggs, the superstar wide receiver from Buffalo. Now take away the last year, 2023. He's on pace for the Hall of Fame. He's been in 2 different locations, 2 different quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins, Josh Allen, multiple different systems, and have been great. He's lower maintenance. He doesn't get hurt a lot. He just had a bad season, and now the Texans pick him right off of trades. Now the Texans are Super Bowl contenders. Now they have that X factor. They have star power. They have depth, but they also have Will Anderson on the defensive side, and now you have Stefon Diggs on the offensive side. CJ Stroud had a great year last year. And I think everybody gets swept up in that he was a rookie, that he had a first-year head coach. But if you look at who played better than him stats-wise, there's only 3 guys. There was Josh Allen, Tua Tagovailoa, and Jared Goff. All 3 guys had great wide receivers. Tyreek Hill, Stefon Diggs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, great run games. Legendary head coaches, Dan Campbell. But Stroud didn't have anything. He didn't have a run game. He had some wide receivers, but they were banged up throughout the year, and most of them were young first or second year players. Second year for Stroud. He now has a tight end, a running game with Joe Mixon, depth at the wide receiver core, Stefon Diggs at X Factor, a talented defense, and a great head coach. This is a great team. Is it a Super Bowl team? Probably, but it's in the AFC. You have to go up against Harbaugh and Herbert. You have to go up against Harbaugh and Jackson, Reed and, why am I blanking on the name? Reed and Mahomes. Ryans and Stroud are really good. Are they Justin Herbert, Jim Harbaugh good? I don't know yet. Are they Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes good? I don't know yet. But the team is great. And usually when teams arrive 1 year early, they have a bad next year. The Bengals arrived 1 year early when they played for the Super Bowl versus the Rams. The next 2 years, Burrow got hurt this past year, and the year after their Super Bowl appearance, they were very good, but they lost in this divisional rounds. I can't see this happening with the Texans. I don't think there's going to be a drop-off between last year. I think they arrived early, and they're going to stay here for a long time. I think there's 2 things that make that signal that this is going to be a great team to come. First of all, you have a head coach, you have a great wide receiver, and you have a great head coach. But second of all, you have an easy division. When Mahomes started ruling over his division, the Broncos were awful. Justin Herbert was young. Right? When Brady ruled his division, that division was awful. You're kind of getting a similar sense with Texans. Young coach, young quarterback, star defensive player, star wide receiver one, easy division, easy schedule. It seems like the Texans are in business. For, what was I going to say here on the Michael Batson show? So, for Stefon Diggs, I think it's a win for the Texans, win for Stroud. For Stefon Diggs, it's even more of a win. Because usually when you're 30 years old and you come off a bad year and you get traded, not a lot of money is coming your way the next year. You're playing with a young quarterback, a bad team, 1 to 2 year deal. After a bad year with the Bills, higher maintenance than usual, 30 years old. On his third team, he goes to the Houston Texans, a young team, won a playoff game. He gets a boatload of money, and he gets a great quarterback. Keep in mind that last year was tough for Stefon Diggs, but with Kirk Cousins, he was great. With Josh Allen, he was great. If you put him in the right system, he will thrive. CJ Stroud could be better than either of his 2 previous quarterbacks. So for Stroud, it's a win. For the Texans, it's a win. For Stefon Diggs, it's a huge win. 30 years old, third team, coming off a bad year. He gets to go to a good team with momentum, lots of money, long-term deal, gets paired up with probably the best young quarterback under 25 in the NFL.